You are watching CIOTV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Infomedia.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, guys. I am Hakimuddin Wadlawala, well known as Hakim. I'm sure majority of you would have seen me somewhere or the other. I would have been stayed around wherever it is a security event or security leadership team has been around. I represent ProTechmanize as a founder and the CEO of the organization. Every time when I come on this stage, it is a sense of achievement that I see and a responsibility that comes across because I've also been a part of the other side of the table, and I'm very happy that I have represent that side also in my journey, right? And ProTechmanize has been in the industry for 5 years now. Of course, we have gone through phases where we started up and then we ended up in the COVID, and one of the toughest time that any startup would have come across is in 2020 and 2021, where the customer base is one, but other than that, the pandemic has hit us very hard. But with all the blessings and the support that you guys have given to us, we have sailed through. And today we stand around 200 people plus organization in not even completing the 5 years at this point of time. Today, we are associated with the enterprise IT world to bring across a holistic based system integrator to you. ProTechmanize has been out and working with leading BFSIs, manufacturing, pharma, and so on and so forth out there. So without taking much time, I would just take you to a quick glimpse of what we do. So we believe that the reason to come up with ProTechmanize was that every time when a system integrator or a partner or anybody who would have come to us proposes a service or a product has been very consistent in follow up and having a good friendship or a discussion till the time the PO is released. And then eventually you turn out that now you are running behind them and are asking them what is the update of a products, the implementation, managed services, and so on and so forth. And that has hit me very hard is because when I was leading in IT security for the organization that I was before, this always used to be a pattern. First they run behind me. The moment the PO is released, I run behind them. So a very a practical scenario that I put it across, right? And hence what we did is we came up with an ProTechmanize, and the idea was that we will be less selling of a product and being more of a service partner. Of course, product selling and all this thing comes by product to it, right? And that's where what we did is in all these 5 years that we have come across, and we do now end-to-end services for our customer, which is right from doing a consulting arm for the customer, which could be readiness, documentation, implementation of ISO, SEBI regulatories, RBI, and so on and so forth. We are one of the very strong partners in the BFSI segment that far. And then we moved on to the implementation phase and the managed services. So I've put across a small presentation. I'm sure these are self-explanatory. You guys are the industry leaders and veterans out there. So that's it. What I would like to summarize ProTechmanize. Idea over here is not to come and look for a business from you guys, but to put across ProTechmanize as a system integrator to you all, so that we are known to you and we will be there available anytime whenever you need our help. Without taking much time, I'll like to call upon Aditya to take over the stage and take the presentation forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's good to be back, seeing all of you again. Most of us meet on and off at forums across, but it's good to be back, talking to you, being on the stage, explaining about Aquila and what we have done across through the journey. It feels immensely proud about Aquila to be showcased across to you. We've been a 1.5-year-old company. We started across with a journey and an intent saying that we want to resolve out CIOs and CISOs issues when it comes to security. What we have realized over the time is security cannot be one leg chair, right? It can't be on one single pillar, or it can't be one single activity which you could run in one bits and pieces. And that's where the intent was very clear, and we built Aquila from that intent onwards. I represent Aquila as in the capacity of a team member. We are a solid team across India, helping InfoSec leaders to build a complete comprehensive security posture cover. What we've done over the time is we have built happiness across, and that's where our story lies in, right? We've built happiness across for InfoSec leaders. The idea was very clear. There were challenges which were faced across by CIOs and CISOs, and we have been able to mitigate those challenges with Aquila platform. The idea was very simple. We covered them across on the security posture so that tomorrow when threats actually turn up in your organization, we are able to protect them better, and we are efficiently being able to manage and mitigate those threats across. Around the way, what we have done is we have classified our solution, a complete suite of solutions which we have into 4 pillars. One is people, one is infra, one is brand, and one is communication. The reason why we did that is because we wanted to categorize and module them out in such a way that it's a 360-degree coverage across for each of your pillars when it comes to security level. In the current times, and I'm pretty sure most of the CIOs and CISOs will echo the sentiments across, you will end up using multiple OEMs, multiple solution providers to lead any of these pillars, right? Or to have a complete security coverage. And that's where Aquila comes in, right? We primarily bridge that whole gap. We build Aquila in such a way that everything can now be across on one single platform without any delays, without any interventions, and we can seamlessly stitch them across without having a dependency on you or your team. Currently, what happens is when you have multiple solutions in play, you have a lot of teamwork which being deployed across. You have an extra legwork which has to be done across. You have time, efforts being given out. The cost factor increases extensively. And again, there's a frustration which leads up across because you don't have a complete end-to-end life cycle managed across when it comes to employee and security posture being managed. And that's where Aquila primarily does this complete management and completely gets you out of that whole issue. If you see, this is a recent study which we did across. The idea was very clear that security as an activity couldn't be left standalone, right? And that's where we wanted to build an understanding across, and that's why we did a recent survey where we analyzed a certain set of companies where we work across and prospect companies and understand their security posture out. We've seen that most of the companies who have not deployed extensive security cover have been leading up or have been led to a very vulnerable state right now, because the activities like, which I'll cover in the future slides, but the activities which are basically important for an organization to ensure that security cover is being not laid down. And you can't never blame on one single person or one single entity or a stakeholder to basically manage those. And that's where we help you across with it. Primarily, here is what we do. Okay, so when it comes to across with people, right, we do these cyber attack simulations. That's where we understand and assess your user base, understand where your users are not able to identify the simulation attack or where your users are falling prey to it. We classify them across in multiple maturity stages, and then we basically take them to a next level of training these users across. The challenge out which in the industry is that when you do simulations across in the industry, you have been stuck with simple templates or industry templates, which basically breaks the monotonity of your users. So today, consider the scenario, right? If there's a one single template which has been sent across in a group of people around over here, and probably someone ends up being vulnerable to it, he's going to notify the other person, right? There's no real-time threat analysis being mapped for each and every individual. And that's where we have been able to distinguish our product out, where we have been able to build a simulation model where we ensure that each and every individual kind of gets a complete different simulation attack, and we are able to actually map the real threat scenario from an employment perspective. We then classify this across with a lot of customizable templates, a lot of graphical representation and understanding of where your employee lands on the maturity level across, and take that maturity level to a next stage. Along with that, we also have a complete in-house LMS platform which we have built, which ensures and deploys cyber awareness training across for users. The idea is very simple, right? We want to ensure that your users are completely nurtured and trained upon without any, without any dependency at your end. We take that ownership across and we ensure that the whole cycle is managed. It has a lot of exhaustive trainings which is there. You could configure it out as per your requirements. That's again one of the other challenge out there, right? Because organizations are stuck to standard templates or standard training material out there in the internet, and they have to deploy that out. So we basically bridge that gap, and we create customizable training modules across out over there. We have intelligent escalation metrics. We have a lot of gamified contents, interactive contents, content which primarily ensures and enables the users to learn and understand more without getting strained or drained out from the training material activities. Along with that, once you basically identify and once you train your employees and once you have made sure that your employees are aware about what a cyber attack or how they should prevent themselves from a cyber attack, we give them a weapon to basically help you in identifying these cyber attacks. So we basically build a tool called Fish Alert, primarily where they can go ahead and start reporting these phishing emails, and where you can start capturing those phishing emails on one single dashboard and monitor and start blocking it in case if there are actual threats across for your organization. Moving on, in the infrastructure arena, we have primarily built something which is wherein we help organization to do run complete real-time threat intelligence out there. So primarily what we do is when organizations deploy a practice of deploying or doing a VA scan probably once in a year or twice in a year, we have built a crawling engine which will primarily do a real-time monitoring of your critical exposed infrastructure on the internet web. So you're in where we monitor your domains, your IPs, your assets, and we give you a complete threat analysis and visibility and bifurcating them across as per their severity and as per their importance across. Also, here is where we make the difference out over here, where we primarily not only just highlight the vulnerability for you, but we also help you with the remediation process and completely assist you with a complete in-house team to do this process out. Along with that, we also do something wherein we do uptime monitoring, primarily ensuring all your performance of your critical assets, your servers, your domains, your IPs is up to the mark. And that's where we do a complete real-time monitoring of your critical assets, and we give you a complete analysis. So you have your in-house team, which can start now monitoring this across on the platform and get a complete closure across, or if there's any vulnerability, or if there's any downtime, we can start having that action out. We also have an incident management system, which primarily is where your internal team and your external teams probably could align, and all these vulnerabilities without any discrepancies or without any gaps, we could fill that up and we could close those out before it opens up a gate for cyber attackers. Along with that, once we cover infra scan, we move on to brand monitoring. Brand monitoring is primarily where we protect your brand's identity across in the internet world. Brand, again, has been the most vulnerable stake in an organization from a security standpoint. And that's where we help you identify. So for example, if tomorrow, if you have a lookalike domain created for your organization and someone is hosting out a content, you need to have a real-time analysis which can basically do a crawling and get you completely an exposure across out over there. Along with that, we also monitor your domain reputation scores, we monitor your applications, we monitor your IPs and so on and so forth, and give you a complete threat analysis or a complete brand understanding where your brand has been lacking, where been vulnerable out over there. In the brand monitoring bucket, we also do something called defacement monitoring, where we monitor your website and understand if there is anything which has been been attacked out. So if there's any DDoS attack, if there's any cyber, if there's any misalignment on the content, if there's something which is going wrong across, we alert you, we monitor, and we completely get you that analysis. We also, along with that, we do your dark web monitoring for identifying your brand's content on the dark web, where we identify if there's someone has put any source code across, if there's someone who has misrepresented your identity on dark web, and we get that understanding as well. The whole cycle and the whole 360-degree exposure and understanding and monitoring is something which we take care on the brand monitoring portal out there. Coming to the last bucket of us is the email or business communication bucket, right? Business communication has always been an onward and offward journey, right? So primarily what has happened is the most neglected, so to say, was the DMARC journey out for organizations. Organizations always thought security from an inbound email threat is something which is prima focus important. Obviously, that is important. But along with that, someone representing your domain and putting out a mail to a third party or an internal customer or internal user also is something which is important. That's where your DMARC journey comes in play. That's where we have been deployed. We've primarily do a complete exposure mapping along with that analysis and along with that remediation for your DMARC journey. We do a complete analysis and we do all these across on one single platform. The idea was very simple. When we build this out for as an Aquila as a product, we wanted to have everything across for customers and for CIOs, basically to have a complete understanding of what kind of vulnerability or what kind of visibility they require from a security posture and mitigate those vulnerabilities for them through a complete end-to-end managed service support. So today, once you deploy on Aquila, you can end up, completely having this assigned to us, and we can completely take control of this, and we can start working with you to give you remediations and take care of the whole necessary next actions across. Through the journey, what we have done is we've also worked across in industries. We have a strong presence across in the banking industry, mutual fund industries, pharma, logistics, healthcare, or we have a complete suite of customers around over there. I'll be very happy to share across that within a calendar year of within a calendar year, we have been able to cross across 85 customers, which is primarily a good jump for us when we started off, right? And it has been a huge journey for us when it comes to customers. It's all enterprise customers we've been able to achieve and we have been able to help out with. A few of these customers who we work very closely with, few of the names do pull out, we primarily have been doing a complete end-to-end lifecycle management when it comes to threat management around over there for them. And the intent has been very clear. We work with you so that the security as a posture, as an activity is less dependent on you and more dependent on us, and we give you the results as required to. We've been recognized, and this is one thing which I wanted to talk to you about, right? It's not only that the customers and basically the product has backed us up in a better way, but we have been recognized across industries on multiple platforms as well. And trust me, it's been a great honor for us to receive this recognition. And most of it has been the customers like you guys who have been backing us across over here. We are there outside. We will be able to help you understand your current security posture, work with you and your team to give you a complete analysis, understand if there are any supports required, and we are able to build that across for you and help you across in that journey out there. Thank you so much.